Case number 25-00791 FY, State of Michigan versus Timothy Dansby.
behalf of the people.
Morning. 7446, standing in for the attorney of record, Van Donick, and appearing on behalf of Mr. Timothy Dansby, who speaks to my right. Mr. Dansby, can you please state your full name for the record?
Timothy Dansby.
All right, Mr. Dansby, we're back. Do you mind having Ms. Miller stand in for Mr. Gonick for today's hearing?
That's up to the court, you know, I still reserve my right. I mentioned all of the previous hearings, but part of today's process has been going what it's going to continue doing what it's doing, but I feel.
Does that mean you don't mind her standing in?
One interpret.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna play that game. That's a yes or no question. Okay, do you want to adjourn it and see who it is? You have a right to have the counsel of record present if you want to be here instead of Ms. Miller. And this is basically for a probable cause conference and adjourn date on a retail fraud first degree. When we had adjourned it before for your lawyers to get video discovery. So do you mind her standing in or no? Okay, so you don't want a lawyer, sir? I'll release him if you don't want one. Nobody's gonna force you to have a lawyer to help you. If you want to do it all yourself, do it. Do you want me to release the lawyers?
You know, same firm soon right now.
Do you want a lawyer? Yes or no? It's a real easy question, sir. It don't take all day. Listen here. Okay, if you don't answer the question, I'm going to release the lawyers. If that's what, because you've been complaining the whole time about, I didn't ask for no state attorney. I don't want to, I don't know what it, whatever you going to do. No, I'm not doing anything. I didn't appoint the person in the first place. I didn't do it. Okay, so you don't want them? Is that what you're telling me? Do you want them? Yes or no?
All on the same.
Sir, listen, this is not going to be a matter of semantics. Do you want one or not? Because nobody's going to force a lawyer on you. I'll be happy to handle this case with you by yourself, doing whatever you can do to help yourself. If that's what you want.
I still ain't got my discovery, so.
So, do you want a lawyer?
I'm sorry, I'm still on the same thing I think.
I don't even know what that is. Whatever your claim is, I don't know. Okay, let's release the lawyers. All right. Now, you're not getting another one. I'm just telling you.
I reserve the right for judiciary finding on the legitimacy of the court.
You're not getting another lawyer, okay?
Oh, yeah, I said
I don't know what you can reserve what you want. I don't mind.
finding of the court and the legitimacy of the court as far as the argument.
Sir, whatever you want to do, you can do. But since you don't want a lawyer, I can't by law give you one. So.
That was three adjournments ago.
Guess what? So.
Lord have you given me the things that I need.
Okay, sir, nobody can give you anything but a piece of paper. They can give you that. They could give you the police report. They cannot give you the videos because there's no way for you to watch them.
Make sure that the law library at the court, it will order that the law library at the court either have a clerk or somebody to present the information for me to see the video. I don't know maybe you just don't want to get done.
Sir, I don't even know.
I know.
I don't know anything about your law library wherever. All I know is these video files, they're files. They come on a computer.
So, law library should somebody should be giving, people at the law library a heads up to make it.
Well, you know what? That's up to you to figure out how you gonna get them.
I'll let the second circuit figure it out. Second circuit figure it. You know, probably just second court, Supreme Court, we can let them figure it out. I'm straight.
And so we will reset this, I guess. I don't know why we got him. We could actually bring him back out. And he could decide what he wants to do today.
I do know that, he is wanting to have his preliminary examination. That is.
Okay, well, let's set it for an exam then. How many witnesses, Mrs. Shockley?
Probably just me one.
All right. One witness and one defendant that's going to make it way longer than it's supposed to be. So factor that in.
Court's available October 3rd at 10:30.
All right. So October 3rd at 10:30. Is the exam date. And could you ask Mr. Gonick to make sure he gets a discovery, what he has, over to this person?
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Mr. Hicks, why don't you come on up and talk to you, or Mr. Aiken? That wasn't it.
You're on special appearance in Vine.
All right, well, we'll talk about that here. This is file number, what's that?
You're on special appearance in the Divine and Living.
Okay, could you hand that to me? Well, first let me call the case. This is file number 222036SM. Give this back to you. You don't want to lose this. This is a birth certificate for Justin Michael Aiken. And he happens to be the person that got this citation, Justin Michael Aiken. I don't want to keep that. I don't want you to lose it. You need it. Anyway, that's you. Mr. Aiken, you're here under one appearance or another. You got a citation charging with having no insurance. The last lady had the same charge. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail, a fine of up to $500 and not less than $200. The second count is the one that carries a driving suspension. That's called driving suspended. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That carries 2 points and it requires that your license be suspended. So that could affect your ability to drive a car. And then the third count is a registration plate violation, which is a civil infraction. I don't know if there's any sort of plea offer at this point. Probably isn't. What was your advice, Ms. Jackson?
I advised him that he should plead not guilty, ask for a pretrial, and pay off what is suspending him, which is basically a couple of tickets of leave out of Greenwich County. See if he can't get some reduction on that charge.
That's not bad advice. Mr. Aiken, she's recommending at this point that you plead not guilty, and I don't have a problem with that. Your driving record shows that you had some previous insurance tickets that you didn't pay. And then she indicates you may also have some things from Indiana, LaGrange County.
Branch,
What's that?
Branch County.
Branch County? Okay, let me look at this, because I did look at this yesterday. The staff has been talking with you. They say you're very polite and respectful, but may not completely understand everything. Your driving record shows that you are currently suspended. You do have an ID. You have Coldwater, March of 22, failed to comply with judgment. That means you didn't pay the ticket. And so her advice is probably pretty good. What would you like to do?
And here it comes, the classic right to travel argument. This guy's about to cite a string of old case law about automobiles being a liberty protected by the Constitution. Now, on the surface, sounds kind of compelling, right? Like he did his homework. But here's the thing. These cases get pulled from sovereign citizen websites, and they're either taken completely out of context, misquoted, or they're talking about general travel rights, not your right to operate a vehicle on public roads without a license or insurance. Courts have heard this exact argument literally thousands of times. It never works. And honestly, watch the judge's face right now. He's not even surprised. He's seen this script before.
Sir?
Well, there's case laws here that states that the use of an automobile as necessary to the earnings of a livelihood is modern life requires use in the interest of realism to conclude the right to use as an automobile on the public highways partakes of nature of a liberty within the meaning of the constitutional guarantees. Barbarian versus Luzier, 1958, 139 A2D 869, and then the right to operate a automobile upon the public streets and highways is not a mere privilege. It is a right of a liberty, the enjoyment of which is protected by the guarantees of the federal and state constitutions. Adam versus City of the Pocatello, 416 P.2D 46 4891 Idaho 99 1966, and a traveler has no right to employ an automobile as a means of transportation and to occupy the public's highways with other vehicles in common use. Campbell versus Walker, 78, Atlanta 601 603 2 Boyce Dell 41. Also, the word automobile connotes a pleasure vehicle designed for the transportation of persons on highways. American Mutual Liability Insurance Code versus Chapat 60 A.2 D2, 118. Motor vehicle, the term motor vehicle means every description of a carriage or otherwise convenience propelled or drawn by mechanical power and used for commercial purposes on the highways. The term used for commercial purposes means the carriage or a person or property for any fare, fee, rate, charge, or other considerations, or directly or indirectly in connection with any business or other undertakings intended for profit. A motor vehicle or automobile for hire is a motor vehicle other than an automobile stage used for the transportation of persons for which remuneration is received. International Motor Transit Code versus Seattle 251 P120.
So does that mean you want to plead not guilty to this stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Because
I don't know if there's a club, you pay dues. As I said, the staff said you've been very polite and respectful, but you are woefully misinformed. People keep coming up with these.
I have one more thing.
Well, anyway, everything you just said has no meaning to whether or not you need a valid driver's license or insurance in the state of Michigan. And the problem is, Mr. Aiken, you could take all this misinformation and really get yourself in a difficult circumstance. I don't know who's teaching you this, whether you learned it yourself off the internet or you've got a mentor that is taking you down this rabbit hole.
Okay, this is the big one. Common law is the real law. Statutes aren't law. This is straight out of the Sovereign Citizen Playbook. The idea is that if you just say the magic words and cite the right case numbers, regular laws like insurance and licensing requirements just don't apply to you anymore. But listen how the judge responds. Calmly, almost gently. He's not mocking the guy. He's actually trying to warn him. He says if that were true, there'd be no rule of law, just chaos. And that's really the core problem with this whole ideology. It sounds like a loophole, but it's built on cases that are either fake, misquoted, or from completely unrelated contexts.
But I don't want you to get yourself in a situation where you're going to have to live to be 99 years old to get your driver's license back. So first of all, Mr. Jackson's advice that you pay the ticket in Branch County would be helpful. Everything you just said has a thimbles full, an empty thimbles full worth of effect on anything. Your driver's license is suspended by the state of Michigan You can travel all you want, but you can't drive a car until you get that cleared up. Secondly, you're not an independent nation unto yourself. You need insurance. I don't want you to get all sideways. You can't get your license back from following this irrelevant, meaningless information that you've been provided with. You seem like a nice young man. So I'm going to show you a plead not guilty. Would you give Mr. Aiken his birth certificate back? I don't want him to lose that. Now, you said there was something else you wanted to tell me?
Yes, if that's okay, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, it states right here, under U.S. Supreme Court decision, that common law is the real law, the supreme law of the land, that codes, rules, regulations, policy, and statutes are not the law. So therefore, as an insurance, regulations, title, tags are not law. That's as it's stated here, Rodriguez versus Ray Donovan, U.S. Department of Labor, 1769, or 769 F 2D 1344, 1348, 1985. And then U.S. Supreme Court decision 1796, there every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions formed by his fellow men without his consent, Cruden versus Neal. And this decision has never been overturned.
Okay. I'm not sure where you get this stuff. If that were true, you wouldn't need me. You wouldn't need police. You'd have anarchy and people rioting in the streets and doing, we're about there now. People do whatever they feel like. If somebody says something they don't like, they shoot them. Somebody says something they don't like, they punch them in the nose. They feel like everybody else's property is their property. There's something here in the United States, here in Michigan and here in St. Joe County called the rule of law. And the judges don't make the laws, the legislature does. The judges are sworn to enforce them. So at this point, somebody gave you all this information, which doesn't really affect anything, and it isn't a legitimate defense. You're entitled to have it. You're entitled to be misinformed. I can't, and you're entitled to believe what you want. You're entitled to have a trial in front of 6 jurors.
We can do that.
This isn't even, that stuff won't even get to a jury. The only question would be, did you have insurance and were you driving? Anyway, as I said, I don't want you to get on the driving suspended merry-go-round and you'll be unable to get off of it. Whoever is giving you this information is doing you a terrible disservice. You got these tickets in other jurisdictions that you didn't pay. Now you're suspended. How'd you get here today?
I got a ride. Somebody gave me a ride.
All right. Well, don't drive anymore until we sort this out. Stop driving. I would like to see you get back on the right side of having a driver's license. This stuff is not helpful. It doesn't aid your cause. It has little meaning. And the bottom line is you need to have a valid driver's license. You need to have insurance. This stuff doesn't carry any lawful weight in any court in the state of Michigan.
And there it is. Common law is God's law. Legal is the illegal undoing of God's law. This is where you can really hear how deep this guy's gone down the rabbit hole. And notice the judge's response. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't laugh. He says, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I've been hearing these arguments for 42 years. That's the part that gets me. This isn't new. Courts have been dealing with this exact ideology for decades, and it has literally never once worked. Yet people keep getting fed this stuff online like it's some secret legal cheat code. And the saddest part? This guy seems genuinely respectful, genuinely believes it. He's not trying to be difficult. He's just been misled. And now his license is stuck in limbo because of it.
So I'm going to show you're pleading not guilty. We'll send you out to the court office. We'll have a pretrial. You can share your thoughts and beliefs with the prosecutor. They'll probably just make them mad. But Ms. Jackson's advice is a good one. If you can go get the tickets paid off, get your license available to get it, they may give you some consideration. But you live in Constantine, which is a little place.
Right.
Every time you drive, they're going to pull you over again.
Yeah, it's
We're going to
different.
be on the merry-go-round and we won't be able to get off of it. So, like I said, you've always been polite and respectful, and you're entitled to believe what you want. But this isn't helpful to your cause. So we'll get a pretrial, let you share that information with the prosecutor, see what they want to do. But Ms. Jackson's advice, I think, is good advice.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Aiken, why don't you take him out to the counter? Now, what's going to happen next, and I apologize, once upon a time, we used to do the pretrial right here at the time of the arraignment. But with county cases, we're not able to do that presently. Are you missing work right now?
No, not right now.
Okay, good. I don't want you to have to take time off from work to come back here, but we'll talk further about this. And if you want a trial, you're ultimately entitled to have one. My hope is you could get some of this stuff squared away and the prosecutor will give you some consideration to help you get your valid license back. But when you were young, you took driver's ed, you did all the steps you needed to do to get a valid license?
Correct. I did then. That was before I actually started researching into law, actual common law of the United States of America, which is common law, God's law. Legal is undoing of God's law, illegally. That's what it comes down to. I mean, I know you don't know it. It's just, there's a whole bunch of fraud.
Well, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I've been here for 42 years, and people have been making these harebrained arguments for years, and they don't carry any weight. And I'm sorry that you have gone down this path, but it isn't going to be beneficial. And the better, you went to all the effort to get a driver's license. Don't throw it away because of some mistaken beliefs about something that was rendered in 1796. So anyway, we'll send you out for a pretrial and we'll see where this goes. But I appreciate the fact that you are polite, respectful, and you have a right to believe misinformation if you want to, but it isn't in your best interest. All right, good luck, sir. We'll probably talk further.